russosbrand.com, where the pros are the pros. Was there ever a return tweet?
Who, by me?
By Tony. Well, when you sent the follow-up, did he answer that?
No.
Wow. I don't know, bro. It seems to me like the guy is just falling apart, man. Like
a lot of pressure. I mean, it's just, I mean, their team is in a playoff race in the NFL. You know, his soccer team is in like all these, you know, they're competing and stuff for things. He's got 3 shows to write. And then it's like, you know, you gotta understand too, is the Punk thing, Punk failing over there was a very difficult blow to him. Because, bro, Punk was running the did you know that Punk was like running that show?
The show they added, the Collision show?
Yeah, the Collision. Like he, at the end of the show, he would be like the guy that would decide, you know, whether this was good and that, you know, kind of like almost like creative control.
Right.
Like he's the one that got Chris Daniels sent home and these other, you know, he's that was his call. Right. And I'm hearing that one of the reasons that Warner Brothers Discovery gave them that show was because of Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Like he could bring numbers and stuff, right? Well, now, you know, Punk's not on the show anymore. And Punk is on the WWE. And now they're competing for rights fees on a show that Punk is on again on the channel there. And it's, you know, I'm just saying, bro, he should have gotten those guys together and made that work. But I just think there was, you know, you got your executive vice presidents and you bring Punk in. It's like he's got the perception is he's got more control over the show than they do.
Yeah,
you know.
Man, and bro, I always say it, man. Like, you know, listen, man. We all make mistakes, and mistakes are good. That is how we grow, and that is how we become better. So there's nothing wrong with making mistakes. The problem is, bro, when you don't learn from those mistakes. And I see Tony very, very much like Dixie Carter in that regard, bro, where, you know, Dixie made the same mistakes over and over again. And I knew that was going to be the end. I knew it. And man, it just seems like this dude is just doing the same thing, man.
He's got his way of doing things. He doesn't really compromise. The talent is losing confidence in him. He's really just into, like, I mean, I just heard he's really into like match quality and stuff. Like he thinks his tournament thing, the Continental Classic tournament's like the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, you know, just from the standpoint, like, I'm not interested in it. You know, I like episodic stories. I never used to like tournaments when we did them at TNA and Impact. Like, the, you know,
do you know, Glenn, as a fact, I could tell you years and years and years and years of experience. Glenn, every time we did a tournament, the number was down. And we knew it. We knew it was going to be down, but we kind of booked tournaments when we like needed a mental break. Bro, the reason tournaments were down was because they were wrestling matches and there were no angles that, you know.
Well, remember what we used to do though when we used to book these. I remember we did the thing like that cup thing where they had the Canadian team, the Japanese team and stuff.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out what type of storylines we could put this in to make it more interesting.
I know.
You know, and it's like, it's kind of difficult to do because nobody really cares about the stakes. Like, you win a tournament, who gives a rat's ass? They're fake wrestling matches, you know?
See, that's where if Tony Khan did his freaking homework instead of burying everybody else, he would understand that throughout history, tournaments never drew, bro.
And plus, too, when you keep, you know, shouting, Tim, you know, what's the thing where you shout in the woods if nobody can hear? You know, if they keep, I don't want to say keep crying wolf, but it's like, dude, every week you're talking about what a great run you're on and how great your shows are, and I'm like, you know, it's like I'm having to watch these shows and I don't think so. You know, it's like, it's just, I'm not, this tournament is not compelling to me. I'm just like, and the numbers are down and there's other people that think like me.
Right.
So then when I bring stuff up like this, it's like I'm an irrelevant parasite because I'm explaining why.
Yep.
Why one of the reasons your tournament that you love so much isn't drawing any numbers is because I'm having to watch 7 hours of television every week. One show is at least doing, whether the storylines are any good or not, they're doing episodic soap opera storytelling, which I'm interested in because I want to see where the angles go. I could give a rat's ass who wins the matches.
Right.
Okay, because like I want to see where the angle goes because when they wrestle each other, after that, I don't know who's going to win because each guy's going to maybe take a different path then. That's episodic story. This is just like standalone matches and, you know, you get points and stuff. That's like there's no personal issues. The good guys got to wrestle the good guys, the bad guys are bad. Like, you know, you waste like Jay White and Swerve are like two of their pretty much top tier guys, right?
Right.
You could do 5 weeks of TV before they ever wrestle with those two guys to build it up. Instead, you're giving it away, and they're doing 17 minutes against each other on TV. And just one guy beats the other one, and then that's it. He gets points, and like there was no issue. There was just they're just in the tournament, you know.
Well, you know, bro, with everything that you said with the Jaguars and Fulham and all that stuff, bro, the fact of the matter is the guy might not have the time to write a good television show. He may only have the time to book so-and-so against so-and-so.
Me and Conan talk about that all the time. It's like, bro, it's difficult to write one show. Conan had so much work to do, like recently, like a little while back. He had to go to the hospital for fatigue.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, dude, this like, you know, and plus two, it's kind of weird that, you know, for a couple of years, your best metric, the best data metric that you could point to was your wrestling show. Because the Jacksonville Jaguars were kind of crappy. Fulham was, you know, in the lower divisions, everything. But now, like, Fulham and Jacksonville have become, like, better brands for you to work with.
Yeah.
Because they're more successful in the big picture because your show's like lost like the rest, and he's still just engrossed in the wrestling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, if like, you know, you got two successful ventures, this is all we say, get some help writing the freaking shows. You got Jimmy Jacobs there. I don't know how they do it, but I heard he's got the rubber stamp on everything. You know, but like Jimmy Jacobs can write a decent show, like put pen to paper. I've seen when I went and worked at Impact, you know, and everything, and they did that thing where where I was wrestling Scarlett and she, you know, all that. Like I would get the show, and I'm looking, it's like, well, this is like a Vince Russo. This is a very well written show. The segments and like the show was not bad. Like the Impact Wrestling shows they do good soap opera storytelling. A lot of stuff in the back to build up back. You know, not just like this is just like you start off the wrestling show on AEW, and those two guys are just coming out for an entrance. Like the announcers don't recap anything. You don't know what happened the week before. You haven't filled anybody in the other shows, and like they might say something in passing, but it's like you just get right into the action. And it's like, you know, I keep telling everybody, like, you know, like AEW. You saw Meltzer did his tweet where he talks about there's too many stories in AEW, and I'm like, Dave, you know, you just want to say it's like maybe there is, okay, but if I'm reading, you know, Lord of the Rings has 3 books, okay, and if I'm just watching book 1. You're reading book 2 and book 3, you know, and stuff like if there's like three things going on, I want to know what's going on those other ones to fill me in, like on this one right here. You don't bring me up to date on that. So it's like, so you're not actually telling the stories. You're just performing the stories. The announcers don't really recap stuff that's happening. So then that's telling the story. It's like you're telling me what's going on. Here's the storyline. Here's the progression of the storyline coming up to the next thing. You don't do that.
Right.
We have to watch all your shows and keep track of everything. And maybe that's why Dave Meltzer thinks like there's too many stories. Like, yeah, because they don't have any video packages to recap them.
Yeah.